privacy rights. So it says that the privacy rights of the smokers is not it doesn't really, it's not like it doesn't really matter because they're harming other people. So then the privacy rights are disregarded. However, they aren't just violating privacy rights; they're also violating the property rights of landlords. According to the California Civil Code, a landlord of a residential dwelling unit may prohibit the smoking of a cigarette or other tobacco product on the property or in any building or portion of the building, including the dwelling unit or other interior or exterior or the premises on which it is located. So this means that the landlord of the apartment building can decide for themselves whether or not they want to ban smoking. By forcing all apartments to implement the ban on smoking, you're taking away their right to choose whether or not they want to implement it. And also, my opponent also claimed that that the majority of non-smokers or the majority of people prefer that their buildings to be smoke-free. However, according to the tobacco control, the majority of non-smokers prefer that their building be smoke-free, but there's a failure to report problems to department managers. So that shows that even though they prefer it, they're not telling the apartment managers whether or not they aren't telling the apartment manager that they want to be that they want the building to be smoke-free. To show that either it's not like that big of a deal to them, or else they would report it, but they aren't. So along with these issues, there are also workability problems and disadvantages to the implementation of a smoking ban in apartment buildings. One of the workability problems that would arise would be the enforcement issue. First of all, smokers who disagree with the ban may completely ignore the policy and continue smoking in their apartments. According to an article that was published in the New York Times, the residents living in an apartment building where smoking is banned still suspect that some residents still smoke secretly at night. Also, in an interview that was done on the Boston Housing Authority by CBS Boston, the CBS Boston interviewers actually caught tenants on camera smoking in doorways, on streets, and inside an enclosed entryway at the Foley apartment in South Boston, where there was a smoking ban within the building or 50 feet around the building. So this goes to show that even with an all-out ban in place, smokers may still be defiant. And along with the smokers' defiance issue, there is also not enough security to efficiently monitor and enforce the smoke-free policy. This is evident in areas that implemented a similar smoking ban to the ones my opponents are proposing. In an article published in the New York Times, Ron Cash, who is the department director of a casino that has a smoking ban, states we're not surprised by the minimal number of violations. The reality is we don't have enough inspectors and we don't have the staffing or the resources, which shows that there is an enforcement problem that comes with the smoking ban. And even in cases when there may be enough people to manage the problem, enforcers, especially those who smoke, may still be unwilling to abide by the ban. So, according to the article published in Baby Boomer Health, Aging, and Retirement, the smoking ban at Atlantic City's casinos remains unenforced, with customers seeing smoking and non-smoking sections. And the book Regulating Tobacco also states that bartenders have been slow to enforce the law, claiming that patrons don't stay as long and customer crowds are thinner. And more news stories have appeared showing instances of defiance or non-compliance. CBS Boston also reports that the employees who are supposed to be enforcing the ban have been caught breaking the rules themselves. And therefore we conclude that even with the smoking ban in place, there would still be an enforcement issue due to smoker defiance, lack of manpower to enforce the ban, and as well as the unwillingness of some enforcers to enforce the ban. Along with this workability issue, there's also a disadvantage that would arise if the smoking ban were to be implemented in all apartment buildings, this being the loss of revenue for landlords. So contrary to what my opponent claimed that the revenue would actually increase, there would actually be a loss of revenue due to the smoking ban. There would also, the loss of revenue would be caused due to the smoking ban because with a complete smoking ban in all apartments that are currently smoke-free would lose their competitive edge. According to the Montreal Economic Institute, to meet the needs of different customer groups, we would expect to find a variety of establishments for non-smokers, for smokers, and for both. This type of system reconciles different and sometimes conflicting individual preferences in a spirit of diversity and without coercion. On the other hand, a total smoking ban may affect establishments known to frequent smokers. Basically, what this means in relation to the apartment smoking ban policy is that currently apartment buildings are allowed to decide whether or not they want to be smoke-free. So there are both smoke-free apartment buildings and buildings that allow smoking. And those who prefer smoke-free policies can choose to live in smoke-free buildings. And smoke-free buildings, they can therefore charge people more to live in their apartments. But like by implementing the ban for all apartments, the smoke-free apartments would no longer have this advantage, because then all the buildings would be smoke-free, because they no longer have that competitive edge. And with it, they would lose the competitive edge and the profit they earn from being a smoke-free building. And along with the loss of competition, which equates to loss of revenue, a smoking ban would also cause landlords to lose money for forcing current buildings that allow smoking to convert to a smoke-free building. So, like my opponent said, the cost of decontaminating a room that previously owned by a smoker is very high. According to the New England Journal of Medicine, the price for the decontamination of a two-bedroom unit can exceed $15,000. So by implementing a smoke-free policy, apartment buildings that previously rented to smokers would have to spend $15,000 to decontaminate each smoker's room in order to make it inhabitable and satisfy non-smokers. Due to these workability and disadvantages, it shows that smoking ban is not an ideal policy for people.